Separately warning Senator Mitch McConnell in a letter that any changes could jeopardize the bill in the House. And, of course, there have been a lot of changes here that is not sitting well with everyone in the House. I suspect my next guest is among them, a member of that committee, Congressman Brian Babin. Congressman, good to have you. Not a fan of this, I take it?
Well, you know, let me just preface this, Neil, by saying the Democrats predicted that we wouldn't have a bill in the House. We do. That there wouldn't be a bill coming out of the Senate. They are going to have one. I just got actually some of the details on this bill. It's 150 pages long, about an hour ago. And so we've been trying to digest it. I'm very, very happy that we're going to have a bill that we can conference on, or we can go get some exchange of ideas between both houses, so that we can just take down and repeal and replace Obamacare, which is absolutely in a death spiral. There are some good aspects of this thing that I can see, and there are some that I could not support. I can just tell you that right now. But I'm glad that we have something that we can discuss.
I guess it goes back and forth, Congressman, to, you know, whether it's different enough from the Affordable Care Act or just sort of graying the lines. A lot of people say at best it might be graying the lines, that any measure that has insurance companies happy and health insurance stockholders happy, and then maybe there's a problem with that. That might be a little bit simplistic, but what do you think?
Well, no, you're exactly right. I mean, there's some of the we still have a $50 billion. We have a $50 billion bailout of insurance companies in this thing, and you know, that's going to be a problem I think we've got to address. And also, you know, we're getting rid of the insurance mandates, which I think is great. I mean, the individual mandate and the employer mandate. So therefore, with our, you know, it doesn't necessitate people to buy insurance.
Democrats counter, as you know, sir, that could be a problem. I certainly understand your concern about mandates, but what happens in the meantime is, without them, what compels people to getting coverage and keeping the costs down? And I only mention that in the context of saying that right now, under the House plan, there was a guesstimate on the part of the CBO, and always guesstimate, so I don't give much credence to the number, but at 23 million fewer Americans will have coverage. Now, a lot of that would be based on the notion that since penalties are removed, they have no reason to feel compelled to get coverage. But having said that, how do you feel about that, and is that a problem just to sell this?
I think that you have to have an incentive to buy insurance for this thing to succeed, Neil. You can't just wait until you're riding in the ambulance to the hospital to purchase your insurance. That's going to have to be addressed, I think, for some of us to support this this version. But that's something that I think we can do. Otherwise, the whole thing is a house of cards, and it might be unsustainable. But this is a start, and that's where I'm optimistic. I think we can work this thing out. We have a thin margin, a razor-thin margin to work with in the Senate, with just 52 votes plus the vice president. But I think we can get this thing done and get something satisfactory. But it's something that has to be worked out. Some of these aspects that I don't think are going to be workable.
All right.
Let me just say this, Neil. My constituents, ever since I've been in Congress, have been complaining about the growth of the premiums, 150%, you know, over the years, deductibles that are absolutely unworkable. You can't use your insurance. So if we don't get the premiums and the deductibles down where working class Americans can afford this, I think it's going to be a hard nut to crack.
All right, Congressman, thanks for taking the time. Very good.
But I'm optimistic. Thank you, Neil.
Well, that's good. That's good. Half full. All right. We're hearing now that at least